Buds, I'm Rick, and this is little Missy. She's been our little house guest through the winter. It's been, the first couple, 3 months, 4 months. Every time I was doing videos, she had to be in the cat carrier over here because she was a little rambunctious and more feral than not. Now she's getting better. You getting better? Yeah. I know you get a little feisty pretty soon. Yes, you do. I'm going to put you down. You going to let me put you on the floor? Huh? Yeah. You going to let me do the feisty thing, or are you going to get... there you go. See how long she stays down there. She usually behaves herself fairly well when given half a chance, right? So the lighting in here just is never great, right? But yeah, so if you didn't wonder what this was, this is an above down view camera that I don't very rarely use for this channel, but right, the downside is little laptop cameras, things like that, they don't give us the best pictures. I mean, if you want to go that route, we could go the full-on head-on picture. Like I said, little Missy here has been our guest. So, there's a lot of crap going on, as always. It's always a crap show in Washington. It's been a crap show in Washington for, as long as I can think of. As long as I was old enough to care about that sort of stuff or even begin to wonder about it. So, I mean, what's different? Well, there's a lot going on, and you know that. You really do. If you do not know, you're detached. And if you know and you're completely wrong about what you think you know, you're MAGA. Yeah. Ain't you special? Hey, MAGA, you special. We all know how special y'all are. We keep that in mind, because y'all gonna have a bad year. You're not gonna be happy with the results. So, I recently watched some stuff on Lauren Boebert. I love to hate that lady. I mean, I try not to go around generally hating on people out of principle. That said, there's a whole lot of problems with humanity as a whole that I have a tendency to want to be disconnected a little bit from, because I don't know, it's hard enough to cope with our little tiny corner of existence, and to be burdened with so much others crap too. It gets to be old. So Lauren Boebert's son. Now, we all don't have to like Lauren Boebert. We don't have to. We can question her mother, skills and all this other stuff. We know that she's probably not the same person she was 10 years ago. I mean, I'm trying to be empathetic here and understanding. In case y'all MAGA Republicans, don't understand what that might be. That is something human beings do, including y'all. Y'all do it all the damn time, you hypocrites. Anyway. So Lauren Boebert's son, 22 counts, four potential felonies, some serious stuff there. Underage, having relationships with an underage girl, that's a trip to prison, man. I don't care what state you're in, you're going to jail for that by itself. Breaking in, B&Es, breaking into people's vehicles, stealing stuff, them are all felonies too, and you get enough of them, you're going to go to prison for that too. Generally, they tend to be a lot lighter on the sentencing for that sort of stuff, unless you got a whole slew of them. But, it also might have to do with how much they want to make an example out of them. And, believe it or not, they're going to tell you that his mama's name has no bearing on anything. He'll be treated just like anybody else. Oh, for the most part, but there'll still be an awareness there. They'll be aware, because of his potential celebrity status can cause problems, especially if he's a moron. Jail is not kind to people that are morons. I'm just saying. Anyhow, Miss Boebert's stumbling around too. She made that, I don't know, was it a wise tactical decision to sidestep to a different district, abandon her initial district that got her into the position she's in, throw them to the basically to the curb, saying I can do better over here with these people. I can do better with these chumps over here. There ain't enough of you chumps over there to make me confident that I'm going to keep my job. Yeah. So frankly, that she's polling dead last in all of the local polls for her district is gratifying on many levels. That woman has absolutely no business being in any position of power anywhere. You've proved it, Lauren. You can't handle it. You've proved it, Lauren. You don't understand what being a politician truly does involve. You think you do, but you don't. And you proved within your own bullshit that you're not even a good team player. So you've shit on your own Freedom Caucus people at one point. You've shit on MAGA people at one point. You've even shit on President Trump, even though you claim you haven't. We got eyes, ears, can see and hear. You know, that's the thing that kills me on most of these politicians today, that just ain't quite caught up to the fact that a large percent, a increasingly larger percentage of the American people are better informed than they were 20 years ago. And part is because of ass clowns like you guys. I mean, you know, we just have to be honest, and ass clowns like this guy. This guy, has he ever actually accomplished anything significant for his own damn district, for your own people? Hey, Mr. Comer, Representative Comer, just asking, bro, have you actually done anything for your own damn people? Or you stuck them at every opportunity to fatten your bank account and for your corporate donors? Because we all know who y'all singing for. Meanwhile, this shit show that you're, you know, continuously spinning up, it reminds me of why we don't lie. Why are we taught as children that it's bad to lie? You know, aside from the fact corporal punishment often is the result of getting caught lying, how many times did you get your butt spanked? Well, if you're among the new generation, the latest crops of kids, you probably ain't got that happen, which I have mixed opinions on that. I think there's an appropriate place for that sort of thing. If nothing else, you need to be aware that there's other people, bigger, meaner, and more powerful than you, that will slap you down. And if you live in a bubble thinking nobody's going to do that, it's going to be terribly, terribly disappointing when it happens to your fucking ass. Welcome to America, young people. Welcome to the world, to humanity, and how people treat each other. The real world does not treat each other very well. It has never have. Never have. It takes a lot of work. A lot of work that people like this ass clown don't want to involve themselves in. Half the time, these politicians can't even be bothered to be involved in the most common, social topics of the day. It just didn't surprise me at all that a couple of these guys get caught flat-footed with their eyes, deer in the headlight looks when they get cornered about their opinions about the IVF deal. The whole point is you want to keep the kids coming. You want more babies coming. You don't want anybody to have any abortions whatsoever. So it doesn't matter if daddy's little Jenny over here is going to have daddy's baby. Yeah, it's a very stupid thing. Very stupid thing. And not to mention that the young lady's going to be scarred for the rest of her goddamn life. That's just horrific. And trust me, you people need to be slapped down. So honestly, somebody needs to go in there and slap this bastard across the face for thinking that way. What the fuck's wrong with you people? And you're all guilty of it. All you MAGA sucking ass Republican motherfuckers that have turned your backs on the realities of the real world. And I'm talking for the people in power because they know the score. They really know where the truth lies. And they're manipulating it, twisting it in every possible way for them to try to gain some kind of keep out of it. Right now, the GOP has one thing at this moment, and they got a very tentative hold on the House. My gut tells me it's going to be a terrible time for the Republican Party come fall. I suspect we will see the Democrats gain the House as well and retain the Senate and the White House. And then we will see the next 4 years of just how precious little the Democrats will get done while they're in power. But that's a different set of videos for a different time, because I got a whole lot of beef about the Democratic Party and how they comport themselves and how they act when they do have the controls. Right? Just saying that, So what do we have? This main shit show. The minute President Biden, he wasn't even sworn into office yet, and there was a race between Marjorie Taylor Greene and Lauren Boebert to see who could frickin' file for the impeachment papers against him. Impeachment for what? You're going to impeach a sitting president who's not even sitting yet. You applied to impeach this man before he legally became a president. That's Greene and Lauren Boebert's, juvenile high school stupidity. That's their juvenile. That's that high school plotting, scheming part of theirs that they ain't quite perfected. For like the big people, you should, learn a thing or two. They're Lauren Boebert and Greene. It's probably a damn good thing that they're incapable of that sort of stuff, because you know what? The people who should be smart enough, this feller here and a whole lot of his generation, are so easily suckered in that they believe their own damn lies so much. This is what happens when we keep perpetuating lies, right? Lies become problematic over time because it becomes increasingly harder and harder to sustain and to keep straight. The Republican MAGA party has not goddamn kept anything straight for the last 6 months, and meanwhile, every chance they get, out the mouth, and they flop in their jaws about exactly what it is they plan on doing. And it's funny how everything they plan on doing goes against 70% of the country's wishes. This is supposed to be a country of majority. A democracy is about choice, but it's also about the greater good or the greater choice ruling out. Hate it or love it. We accept that we don't always win every fucking thing we get, or we do, or we set out. Unfortunately, once again, there's a generation of people out there who believe that that's exactly how it's supposed to work. And then you marry that to a whole slew of people who are totally disadvantaged and disillusioned and have been their entire lives, and it just comes together in a perfect shitstorm. It's where we found ourselves. Then you combine that with an ever-growing apathy and disgust in the system as a whole, when no matter how hard you work, no matter how hard you slave away, you just never can get ahead, right? So this whole thing that comes up next, it reeks of a bad spy novel or bad spy movie. For every James Bond movie that there ever was, there was a Pink Panther movie who was mostly a comedic parody of a bumbling guy trying to catch spies and super thieves and crap. So instead, what do we get? We get this prime informant, this Smirnov. And my first thought is, you're kidding me, right? His guy's actually named Smirnov, and he's in the FBI, right? And so he is this uber connection to everything that makes the Biden crime family, according to James Comer and his cronies. This guy had filed a fake, y'all love that fake stuff. Hey, MAGA. Hey, Republicans, fake. This guy fills out a false 1023 form and files it. Now, his own credentials within the FBI are so dodgy, so questionable, that the senior people above him won't put their stamp of approval on this 1023. Now, to the defense of the morons, to the defense of Representative James Comer here and his ilk, to their defense, the head of the FBI, which last time I checked, wasn't the head of the FBI a Republican? Isn't he a Republican? And wasn't he appointed by Trump, one of Trump's stooges? Or was he just appointed by Trump thinking he'd be a stooge, and he turned out that he's doing his job, doing a pretty good job, and not allowing his personal and political preferences to get in the way? Anyway, ain't gonna nudge there, because Ain't no way in hell. I don't give a shit who you are, even Jesus. And Trump ain't no damn Jesus, and neither are you. I suspect if you think you are, or you think you're talking directly to Jesus, and he's talking back to you, and you're hearing that voice, you're special. You're special. Good for you. Like, go out and preach on the mount, right? Because, you know, Jesus would slap that AR-15 in his hands and run down to the Mexican border and start shooting people. Because that's what Jesus would do. It says it right in the Bible, right? No? No? Oh. Different Bible, I guess. You know, one of these days I'll have to dig up my damn King James. You know, so I can sit here and wave it around like a goddamn prop. You know, anyhow. So their prime witness turns out to be a very untrustworthy source, and who purposely, intentionally made up a bunch of bullshit just prior to President being sworn into office. So the timing of the 1023, you know, should have had no, you know, this wasn't like this guy made this 20 years ago or 15 years ago or even 5 years ago. You didn't make it before President Biden won the election, right? And hey. According to all the courts and all the recounts and all the woofing, huffing, and huffing and hiffing and heefing and hooping, you all crybaby MAGA motherfuckers want to say, Biden won the fucking election. You know, just putting the obvious out. So, prime suspect gets busted, arrested, now being arraigned or being prosecuted for being a Russian spy or a plant or a dupe. More likely a dupe. Because so far, now, granted, they haven't done the investigation yet, because God knows they would, you know, the Department of Justice would not do such a thorough, let alone the FBI would not do such a thorough, you know, investigation of this program that would even ever dare compete to this guy here. Because James Comer is the king of investigating bullshit. Okay? You know, I suspect James Comer could investigate for 3 years and still not be able to figure out how to, you know, unspool the toilet paper from a public bathroom without it tearing. Ain't too many of y'all can do that either. That is frustrating as all get out. That single ply stuff that's on that big hunk of rolls that don't want to spin very well, and one little thing at a time, you're breaking it out. You can't do nothing with that. Come on, you need something. You need a little bit more than that. And then the irony, they use the single ply. We used to call that John Wayne brand toilet paper because it's only, you know, it'll make you a rough neck for sure. The only reason they use this is to save money, but what happens to people that waste half as much as what they use just trying to get the damn stuff off the roll and ends up on the floor and the trash. You know, just saying. So anyway, so James Comer's primary, informant, his primary source of all things evil for Trump turns out to be a plant, or under the being duped by Russians. So everything the Republican Party keeps flinging at the Democrats, specifically at Biden, is really because it's crap they're pulling off of their own bullshit and throwing it. So they're pulling their own bullshit out and throwing it and claiming it's somebody else's stuff. Yeah, remember Trump, he all but begged Putin for help. Why wouldn't they? I mean, come on. This is classic James Bond crap. Although this is such a bad parody, eventually somebody's going to make a goddamn movie of it, and it'll be a farce movie. You know, it'll be trying to be funny, but there ain't nothing funny about it. The truth sucks. The truth is that Russians have been directly attempting to interfere, or directly have and are interfering with American politics. Probably a lot more than that, because it's to their advantage to do that. I mean, come on. It's not hard to figure the motives out, right? You know. So what does that make the MAGA / Republican Party fuckasses like Mr. Comer here? We all know they're stupid. They're not very clever by half as clever as they think they are, and that's what makes them sad for them. Meanwhile, they're not half as smart as they need to be for the damn job. How is it we keep electing morons? How is it that we just these people? Why is it that it seems like every other politician that opens their mouth, it's just you can see the vacancy, you can hear the empty chamber as they echo, as they spew out whatever bullshit was hand fed to them the morning before. Just asking, right? Why? Why? What the fuck? Now this makes the entire country look bad, but it sure makes them look even 10 times as bad. And what makes it worse is you're making an ass out of yourself, which then makes an ass out of the people who voted for you. So hey, any y'all who voted for this guy, y'all stupid as mud. Because if you don't see what Comer's doing and you keep voting for him, you ain't owning nobody but your own stupidity. I'm just saying, you are not doing yourself no favors. That's like shooting the tires out of everybody's cars in the neighborhood, including your own, because you was having a bad day, or because you had a flat tire, so you decided everybody else needed to have a flat tire. I'm just trying to understand the mindset of these terrible morons. So a bad parody of a spy movie, and then to add more to this, I find it interesting or sad too that the mainstream media sources haven't covered this very much. From what I've seen of it, they really haven't covered very much of it, which is ironic. Meanwhile, was it one of the other whistleblowers or whatever the hell they had lined up? They had to reject that feller when it turned out he was actually a Chinese spy. So, Chinese and the Russians are in cahoots. No, the Chinese and Russians do not get along like that. Y'all stupider than you think if that's what you honestly think, that somehow the Chinese and the Russians are buddies and pals. No. It's just the sheer destructive power of both of the nations is why the two of them haven't gone to war since before World War II. I'm just pointing out the obvious. It would be a brutal bloodbath over there if those two nations went to war, and there's always that possibility because they do not like each other. They never have. They're also territorial, and they on certain parts of each other's territories, and some eyes of their people believe belong to the other side. Then there's ideology, and I've said from the very beginning, from what little I understood of communism in general, that there are communists and then there's communists. So the Russians are more Marxist than communists, or they were, but at the end of the day, they were all oligarchies and this dictatorship disguised as something else. Just an excuse. The party's an excuse to keep the leadership in charge, and the masses compliant or stupid, or both, right? And so that said, they're not going to get along, unless it's to screw with one of, like America. They might work together, but the truth is, it's highly unlikely. It's more than likely that the Chinese just see the same opportunities that the Russians do, and are exploiting it. And for the most part, from what we can tell, what's come out, most of a Chinese skullduggery, most of Chinese bullshit is geared towards getting, corporate information, industrial information, scientific information, and less about, they don't really give a rat's ass about our politics and what we're doing inside our country, except occasionally when it's good for them, they think it's a good opportunity to throw a wrench into shit and make things worse. And that's what they did here. But at the end of the day, what did we end up? So this Biden impeachment inquiry that's been going on for damn near 3 fucking years, or has been going on for 3 years, has gone absolutely nowhere. How many millions of taxpayer dollars, your dollars and my dollars, but I'm going to say it's your goddamn dollars, not mine. Mine went to fix the potholes on the highway. Yours went to pay for this crap, because this isn't about you. Don't you get it, man? This isn't about you. So it's all about James Comer, because he's the man. President Comer, he should be running, he should be running with Haley to take Trump down. That's one of the things I still have not been able to absorb in my brain, is where these highly egotistical megalomaniac sorts, who most of the people who become politicians tend to have a little bit of this going on, how they could be so hook, line, and sinker fallen in with, bought into the Donald Trump bullshit. And the only way I can rationalize that in my brain is because those people are a hell of a lot smarter than Trump by a minute. Smarter than me, smarter than most of you, smarter than Trump, because they realize we're going to use Trump. I've always advocated my whole life, I always said, I would rather be the guy behind the chair than the idiot sitting on the throne. Yeah, the person on the throne, they on that exalted position, they're above everybody else, they get a lot of perks, a lot of stuff, and blah, 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 blah. But they the target for everybody and anything that's right and wrong, or righteous or evil in the world. Meanwhile, who's got most power anyway? That person sitting in the chair, the person sitting in the White House, or the department heads that make shit happen, that actually run things, that actually make sure things run the way they're supposed to. I'm just asking, man. I'm just asking. So, meanwhile, the circus just keeps on rolling. But the circus animals that have done left town already. They've done packed up that part of the circus and left town. So all they got left are the clowns, and you can only watch so much clowning around before you become sick of it, and you'll either walk away or want to find a way to explain to the clowns it ain't funny no more. Hey James, this shit ain't funny no more. I'm just saying, my man, find another goddamn topic, because you've burned the bridges on this. And so the latest in all this, as you all know, or may not know, or may or not give a shit, and hey, I get you, is the fact they did get Hunter Biden to come in, and his brother came in a closed, that interview, you know what I'm talking about. So they went in and deposition, so closed deposition. And we walk out of it after 5 or 6 hours with nothing. Oh, they first, right off the bat, a handful of the Republicans, the confirmation on this and on that, but they have nothing to offer us, the American public. They can't walk out and say, we have it concrete. This is what he did. This is what he said. Here's the proof. They have no proof, because once again, it's hard to come up with. It's hard to even fake proof when you have nothing to work from the very beginning. Most lies work best with a kernel of truth in them. Anybody that's worth their salt knows that. It's easier to exaggerate and to manipulate a truth than it is to fabricate an outright lie. So they stumble and they trip, and it becomes patently obvious that they still have nothing. And so they have these closed hearings for what? So now we're going to have the open hearings for the public to hear, that you're not going to ask the same questions, or you're going to trip and manipulate. You know what I didn't hear about? What I sure would love to know is, during Hunter's closed door deposition, did Marjorie finally get to complimented him on his man size? She's obsessed with it. Every time he showed up, she was bringing huge pictures because she wanted to wave it and get his attention, because I don't know, she's desperate to get his attention. Because obviously she's working awfully hard to embarrass herself. I mean, Marjorie, you really don't know how badly that behavior makes you look a childish fool, and they will lambaste you with that for the rest of your life and beyond. Yeah, that's looking into the history books too. I just wondered. So did she get to finally ask, James, or Hunter Biden all them personal questions? Her pants have been itching her to death. She's been squirming and rocking in her seat so much because she just got to ask him because she can't help herself because she's still in high school brain set because she's a dumb bitch. No. All right. So, what's next? What's next, James? Come on, man. What's next? Maybe we need to, do some deep depth investigations on the pets, the family pets, because I hear that some of them are some pretty dodgy, characters. You might actually get some dirt on them, because just what's next? What's left? Y'all, the grandstanding and buffoonery's coming to an end there, James. It's not going to look good for you. Come November, y'all are going to, I suspect you're going to be looking for a different position. You're going to be out of a job. Because, the Democrats take control of that House, you definitely need to be removed from your freaking committee. Of course, once again, the Democrats will try to take the high road. The morally upstanding individuals that they are, that care about the people and the workers and the working class in America, and have absolutely no interest whatsoever to pandering to their uber wealthy donors. Yeah, sure. Right. Anyway, till my next rant and rave. Hope you have a great weekend. So I'm almost gonna hit almost 80 today. It is the first Sunday of March here in Iowa, and it's predicted to get to 78 today, and it's actually nice out there. Ran up to the shops, the wife and I could clean the office and stuff and get it all cleaned up, and yeah, we didn't have to wear jackets or anything like that, and I almost didn't want to come in here and do videos, to be honest. Just saying. But I gotta have at least one to put on this channel every week, at least one. I've got some ideas for some other ones, and some of them, are less enthusiastic about than others, because after a while, I get tired of a lot of the politics and bullshit, because it just, the stupidity, it just never goes, and it never ends, and then there's part of it where I personally don't give a crap. Personally. But as a halfway educated individual that has a little bit of common sense, hard-earned common sense that it took me decades to learn, there are certain caveats to how the country's supposed to work, and if we do everything we can to remove those caveats, or to utterly, depower the system, because one side is crying that they got screwed, and the rest of us just sit here and let them get away with that. I don't know. I honestly don't know. So, either things will get better, or they're going to build a camp for you.